Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. We have Mario, Nedum and Stewart here with me. And before we even get into the questions, we've been asking, because of the Olympics, another competitive sport that you guys would have played if it weren't for football. Now, we pretty much know Nedum's. So shall we start there with you, Nedum, you little athlete, you little sprinter?
Well, I don't like to brag, but I did used to race against Olympians, yeah. No, I would like to have done 100, but, you know, that probably wouldn't have gone well. So as I looked at it, I thought maybe get involved in some judo or something like that. If I had a chance to relive it, I think I'd give that a go. I think I'd be all right.
See, aggressive. See, Nedum's always aggressive. Judo, I mean... No.
It's not aggressive in the end, though, is it? It's all in the mind. It looks aggressive,
Well,
but they know
I think
how to
Nedum
control
would make
themselves.
it aggressive. Have you seen the size of him?
What about you, Robbo?
Well,
I'm
my
quite
sport,
calm.
unfortunately, the sport that I played as a youngster and was at the time good at it, and people were talking about whether it was this sport or that, it was cricket, which they don't play in the Olympics, of course. Yeah, up until the age of sort of 14, I was as good at cricket as I was at football. I had to make a
bowler,
decision.
all-rounder?
All-rounder.
Wow.
I mean, you can't be a batsman or a bowler. You have to be an all-rounder. If you want to be a proper cricketer, you have to be an all-rounder. So,
Would have all been so different.
yeah, I probably didn't have the temperament for it. I think I had the temperament for football more than I did cricket.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't like having to wait to bat and, you know, then being taken off when I was bowling. I might have a tantrum, as you can possibly imagine.
You're not very patient.
No patience whatsoever.
During the main show today. What about you, Mario?
I think if I really had to pick, I think at school I could play a little bit of basketball because I came up in the time of Michael Jordan, was kind of one of my admirers. But now I'm older, I see LeBron James doing it, and I say, no, I made the right choice. Don't touch that basketball. Stick to football.
Mario could play bowls, couldn't he? Have you seen 10-pin, not 10-pin bowls,
Just the actual
yeah,
bowls?
the bowls, yeah, on the grass. He's that sort of age now, isn't he?
No.
Don't take that from him, Mario.
Don't worry about it, Robbo. I feel happy to age gracefully. I'm happy.
Don't we all?
Perfect.
Don't we all?
All right, guys, who do you think should win the Ballon d'Or? Here we are again.
Oh, no.
We have a choice. Rodri, Lautaro Martinez or Vinicius Junior?
Oh, for me, it's only one. It's Rodri. I think he affected so many games. He had a great record of when he played, Man City didn't lose matches apart from one. I think that was the cup final. So, for me, it would be him.
Mario?
Yeah, I'm such a Vini fan, but I think Rodri is the best shout because of what he's been through this season. And I think we got to look back at what he did before. And I say Rodri brought the trophies home. So, yeah, Rodri for me too.
Is this a silly question for you, Nedum?
Oh, come on, this is City TV. I didn't even hear any of the names. Of course it's Rodri, of course. Player of the tournament, the Euros, of course it's Rodri, come on.
All right, for the boys, besides Man City, are there any other teams in the 5 big leagues of Europe that can challenge Real Madrid for the European title next season?
From the top 5 leagues?
Yes.
Arsenal could if they play at their very best. Man City, of course, could.
They're not allowed in this question.
They're not allowed in this question.
No.
So I would say, be interested to see how Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Bayern, they're the ones club and side that if they get everything right, they can still be a top team. So Bayern Munich for me.
Mario?
Yeah, I think if you look Bayern, PSG we cannot call anymore because there's so many big changes there. And they could do some surprise because they've been hurt so many times in the league. So yeah, that's probably the biggest shout if you cannot touch England.
So I just hope that you did hear the question here, Nedum, besides Man City.
Yeah, sorry, that's my
I'm
special
just saying it to
subject,
him now
isn't
because
it?
that's all he'll hear otherwise.
I think, obviously, I think the key with the Real Madrid is like, if you can beat them in early rounds, great, because if you get to a final against them, you're clearly going to lose. Doesn't matter if you play well, badly, you're going to lose to Real Madrid, but I would like to see Inter Milan do a bit better than they did last season, because I had big expectations for them, and I think when they lost to Atletico, that felt like a surprise for me, given the fact they were in the final the year before against City. So, you know, I'm going to lean into Inter Milan doing a good job this coming season.
Good call. All right, for Stewart, if you were in the Barca situation with Nico Williams, what would you do? And if he decides to stay at Athletic, do you think Barca should go all in for Rafael Leao?
No. Nico Williams would be the ideal player for them because he knows the league and Leao, I've seen so many times and been mesmerised by his play, but also been disappointed by how he drifts out of games if things aren't going his way. There's very little effort put in, or his body language goes horribly wrong. So I would, if they can get Nico Williams, that's the player they should go for.
Oh, hold out for Nico.
Hold out for Nico.
For Mario, are you worried about Chelsea's start to the pre-season? It sure looks like Maresca is in over his head.
Look, over his head maybe be a big shout because it's just the early days that he started, but from the results and the way they're playing and the way they, defending and conceding, I miss experience, and they had enough time to bring that in after Silva left. But I feel like sometimes it's a little bit too shaky at the back from last season and now coming into the new season. So yes, what I said this season was not going to be the ideal season, but okay, I didn't expect a change to happen. And then next season I expected more, but the way it looks now is a lot of building for Maresca. I think he really needs to readjust certain things because it's not going to go as smoothly and quickly as he would like it to be.
It looks as though Craig might have a little burner account here because this is Craig's vacation agent. Craig, please come back. And it was some Chelsea negativity. Maybe it's Craig. Yeah. All right. Anders says, Nedum, does Ederson need to make a decision soon about his future because it's becoming an unnecessary distraction for Man City?
I don't think it's necessarily a distraction like that. I think if he does want to leave, I'm sure he's spoken with the club and he said that's the plan. So I don't really perceive it to be a distraction as such. I think media-wise, when you have to cover it every day, yes, it will be seen as a distraction, but he himself, I think the guys would probably agree with it. Like, things that are bigger distractions. Like, if he wants to leave and he's throwing the toys out the pram, then before you know it, he will be on his way. But the likelihood is he just wants to start the season and try and prove a point that he is the number one, because there have been quite a few people saying, oh, give Ortega a chance, give Ortega a chance. But I think he's been one of the keys for City's successful last few years. So I don't think it's a distraction. I hope he stays because he's been one of the best to ever do it for Man City and in the Premier League.
Robbo, actually, this is a good question because I've heard you talking a little bit about this during the pre-season. As the co-commentator, is it any more difficult doing pre-season friendlies given the fact you'll have to know about roughly 44 players who will play, especially with the unlimited substitutions for a friendly?
Well, it also doesn't help when you can't see the numbers. It also doesn't help when you're, as we were at the Yankees Stadium, in the corner of the pitch. It makes it more difficult. Yeah, they're the hardest games to do when they make 8 substitutions all at once. I mean, how you can pick up where they're playing, what the system is after that, who's been taken off, because as you're writing it down, you can't see who's been taken off. And I know full well that I kept on getting a player's name wrong yesterday for Manchester City. So yeah, it's more and more difficult. Yeah,
not easy, and then often without even the names.
It's not, and it's not easy working with Mark Donaldson. I mean, that's a real problem.
Blame him. He was the distraction.
Yeah. He always gets it.
He should have known their names.
Yeah, he should have.
Play-by-play. He should have known everyone. And okay.
He wasn't watching the game properly.
There you go. Professionalism always from Robbo, not from
blame somebody else. That's it.
All right, Nedum, what is the atmosphere in the dressing room for a newly promoted team? Is there a sense of optimism or more of a feeling that it will be a long and challenging season to remain in the league?
I think it depends on the nature of the team that comes up. If you're a team full of players that have been there before, then you know what the season's going to look like. But if it's for a team like, say, Ipswich, where for most of these guys, it's a first to be playing in the Premier League. There's a huge sense of excitement. You have to hope because you've not felt the pain and despair of having gone down. But if you're a team, for example, like I was, where we went down with QPR in 2013 and then bounced back in 14, then it's like, right, come on, let's make a better job of this now. We know what to expect. But I'll be honest, the dressing room I preferred the most is the one where most people haven't experienced it before, and the sort of elation, the joy, the hope. It's when you really realise what it means to play in the Premier League and how many people dream of doing it, who play professionally but have never touched it. And for these guys, they'll start well in pre-season. They'll probably think, this is going to be all right. And they'll probably contest really well. But the Premier League, as we saw, and as we see every year, but as we saw last season with Luton's like, oh, everybody loves them, they're the darling side, but they never actually win any games. So very quickly you realise that the Premier League is a far tougher thing to crack than, say, the league you were in previously.
Nice. All right, last question. For the boys, Deadpool Wolverine came out this weekend, the movie. and there were a few Wrexham players making cameos in the movie. Have any of you made cameos or appeared in movies? If so, what was the biggest one you were in? And if you don't have one that you were in, tell us one that you'd like to be in. OK, so first of all, have you made a cameo in a movie, Rob?
No, I haven't ever made a cameo in a movie. I'm going to go back a long way. If I could have been Steve McQueen in The Magnificent Seven, I'd have loved to have been that. That would have been great. But that wouldn't be a cameo, that'd be a starring role, wouldn't it? But yeah, Magnificent Seven or The Great Escape. They were the two films that I loved when I was a youngster.
The Great Escape would be the perfect film to have a cameo in, right?
You could come out of the tunnel, couldn't you? You know, and try and run across before the guns got you down.
Yes, youngsters, if you haven't watched The Great Escape, youngsters, I'm sounding on myself now. Go watch it.
Is that black and white or is that in colour?
Hey, Nedum, no. They were good films. See, Mario knows the films only too well.
Nedum, I know that one, and I'm not that much older than you. What about you, Nedum? Have you made any cameos?
Do you know what? I haven't made a cameo. There was a film, I think, called Jimmy Grimble, which was filmed at my old school one summer. I didn't quite make the cut for that. But I think... What would I like to be in? Do you know what? I would take getting knocked out in The Equaliser, because, you know, Denzel's such a good actor. I'd happily just get a punch in the face or a shot in the chest for him, because he's one of my favourites of all time.
See, Nedum's showing his age because The Equaliser, when I was young, was played by Edward Woodward. Edward Woodward.
Oh, God, oh, God.
He also picked something with aggression and violence. Get knocked out.
I've changed my opinion. I always thought Nedum was a nice bloke.
Oh, you were so, you know, gentle-natured.
I'm mostly nice. I'm mostly nice. Don't worry about it.
Mario.
Yes. No.
What about you?
I haven't been. I mean, in a show in England. Back in England, I was on a TV show, like a football show, but I've never been in a movie. But if I go to a movie, you know, like Born Identity, those are the kind of things that I would like to be. You know, that smartness and the intelligence. Yeah, I will do a little turn up, even if it's just walk around the corner and look at the actor, and go like, this is a cool movie. But no, I've never been in one.
It's a shame Frank LeBoeuf wasn't on tonight.
Oh, wasn't he in James Bond?
He's been in a few, hasn't he?
Well, they were only cameos, weren't they? He wasn't in them properly, was he? I mean, you can't say he was a proper actor.
Professional actor, all right? Yeah. All right, thank you so much for sending in your questions. The guys will be back tomorrow to do it all over again. And even though he's not on the schedule, we'll see if Robbo turns up.